Hey, what's up and welcome back to my channel. Now today I'm going to be talking about my package that I just recently got here. As you can see, this is from NECA, and of course this is the Friday the 13th quarter scale part 4 Jason. So actually it's just a 18-inch version of this NECA Jason figure right here, Ultimate Jason, which was 7 inches, you know. So I was definitely wanting to get this when they just released it, you know. I had ordered, you know, I don't think it was in stores, and then they might put it in Target and so on. And I knew it'd be like probably in comic book stores, but I just decided to order it because I was the only way I could find it, you know. So what I'm gonna do is go and just open this up and take it on out. Okay, as you can see right here is the NECA quarter scale 1/4, or I guess you could say 18-inch Jason. This is actually over 18 inches too, you know. I'll probably discuss all that in my video. But as you can see now, I know they call these quarter scale. This is basically like just a much larger version of the 7-inch Ultimate Jason figure, which I have right here, which is an excellent figure, like I say, you know. Now, what I do, one thing I kind of, you know, I don't agree with is I know about the quarter scale Freddy Krueger figures that they have. Like they have one for like part 3 and part 2. Now, Freddy, he's like in a box that's kind of closed, you know, it has like a package where it's like it's closed up, you know, whereas like Jason, they actually have them like this, you know. I think the Kratos, you know, from like God of War, I know his are like this, you know, it's kind of like open where you can see it. And you can also tell kind of at the top, you know, that it did get kind of like smushed up on its way here, I guess, you know, when it was delivering it. But it's okay though, you know, even like the plastic was kind of pushed in, but it's not open, you know. I think it's okay the way they did it, you know. And this is actually another close-up shot of the figure inside the box. I'm trying to aim it kind of at a way where you can see it, because that glare from my, you know, the sun shining on it. Sorry about that. Now on the side it has like an image of Jason, which is cool, you know. And then they have another image right here on the sides, you know, which is kind of cool too, of Jason, as you can see. And then they also have like the back panel, which is very similar to what the 7-inch one said too as well, you know. Now if anything, it has like a couple more images that are kind of actually better, you know. And it even says the same thing too. After his revival in a hospital morgue, the hockey mask murderer fixes his vengeful intention on the Jarvis family and a group of carefree teenagers. Young Tommy Jarvis, is an aficionado of horror films with a special talent for masks and makeup effects. Has a diabolical Jason finally met his match. So it says the same thing that was actually on the back of the 7-inch box, you know, too as well. Now I think this is still cool packaging, you know, but it would have been cool if they could have made it like this, you know, because they had the Freddy's like that, you know. So I don't know why NECA kind of, you know, didn't make this like this, but it can kind of open, you know. But it's cool that they do still have the cover of the poster, you know, right there. So what I'm gonna do now is just go and open this up and just talk about it, you know. I'm very excited about this figure. Another thing too, this is the background that came with Jason 2, which has like raining on it. It's just how like the 7-inch NECA figure had too as well. But I don't really use these at all. Okay, as you can see, this here is the NECA quarter scale, I guess you could say 1/4 Ultimate Jason from Friday the 13th, the final chapter. They also call it part 4. And of course, you know, Jason is the antagonist of this horror series right here, Friday the 13th, you know. And of course, this is based on his appearance in part 4, the final chapter, you know. So as you can see, this is it, you know. It's a massive figure, as you can see, you know. It's almost like the size of me. As you can see, almost I'm like sitting right here, there's like half of my body almost, you know. So there's like a massive like figure, you know. And as you can see right now, I'm going to measure Jason. And he is about 20 inches in the whole, you know, so it's really about a 20-inch figure. If you actually raise the hand, Jason is actually about 22 inches. And these are like the accessories that it comes with too as well. I'm gonna touch on all these as I go through it. Now some of the items he doesn't have as like the 7-inch one did, you know. That one have much more like items, you know. But he does comes with like a alternate head, as you can see right here. This is the battle damage head from when he was killed. You know, when Tommy slammed the machete in his face towards the end. Spoiler alert, I'm sorry about that. Another thing too as well, you can also take Jason's mask off too, just like the other figures, you know. So I'm going to take the hockey mask off. So it's like another little accessory that you have. Awesome mask. I like how it looks like faded and so on, you know, from like the weather and so on, like being like damaged, you know, from being worn a while. I think that's cool. Cause even like the chevrons, I think that's what they call them, like the red things, or how they got faded off, you know. I think that's an awesome mask. So now what I do is actually take off his head and put on his battle damage head. So I'm gonna do that right now. As you can see, there's Jason. This is the head that was actually on, and it's exactly like it did, like in the film, you know. I think that's cool how he has like the X mark up there. The blood on it is pretty good. You have like veins on the back of his head too. Another thing I think is cool too, the head is so large. See how large it is? It's very large. This here is the head from when he's like killed, you know. So I'm gonna go and put this on. And as you can see, here's Jason with his battle damage head on it. And then, like I said, this is the head that he did have on. The actual the weapons too as well, I'm gonna go and touch on them. Like this right here is the machete, and look at the size of it. This is a huge machete. I think it's about well, I ain't gonna say huge, but it is like a nice size, you know. Yeah, it's about this machete is about 7 inches. It is actually like about close to 7 inches, this machete. Now one thing cool about it, you actually can recreate the from when Tommy had killed him at the end. You can actually recreate that scene. So I'm gonna see if I can do it. And as you can see, there's Jason with the machete in his head. And that's cool. Kind of, I guess you could say killed him, but not really killed him, you know. He was actually like put down, and then Tommy started, you know, just chop him up, like slice him up and stuff. Now what I do is go and put Jason's other head back on, like the one that he came with, like his regular head. Then I'll continue on with my discussion about this massive figure. Now another accessory that Jason comes with is this axe. And it's huge, as you can see, you know what I'm saying? Look how big it is. This is a massive axe. And just like the machete has like, you remember the machete? It was like bloody. Now this also has like blood on it too as well. And I think the axe itself is about measuring here with my ruler. The axe itself is actually over 8 inches. This is an 8-inch axe. Because the machete is like 7 inches, you know. So this is an 8-inch axe. So what I'm gonna do is just display Jason with like the axe, you know. Kind of like the 7-inch Ultimate figure, you know, it came with like a alternate hand, you know, that you can switch out. But I'm just doing it like that. So as you can see, there's Jason axe. So now what I do is shows Jason's alternate hand, which had like the slice in it from when she had slammed the machete into his hand and split it. Gotta go and touch on that right now too. As you can see, I just popped Jason's hand off too as well. So now I'm gonna go and put on the other hand too as well. Cause you can see this popper man, kind of just like how the 7-inch type figures are, you know, this popper man. I just be still kind of scared to mess, you know, mess with them. I know these can break, you know, if you're not careful, you know. Now what I do is recreate the scene of Jason having like the machete in his hand. Now it wasn't actually stuck in his hand the whole time. She just like slammed it into his hand. And as you can see, there's his hand. Cause now the 7-inch figure, it didn't have that accessory. And as you can see, there's like the machete in his hand. that's awesome. So you can display Jason like that if you want, you know, the way he got these like battle wounds. Okay, that's cool. Now what I do is pop off this alternate damage hand and put Jason's hand back in. And you just twist them out, you know. I don't really like pull them out or push them in. Like even when I'm pushing it in like this, I just twist it, you know, and it go right on in, you know. Now the other accessory he has, like Jason, this particular figure, it didn't really come with like too much, you know, like I mentioned before. But he does have like this this knife too as well, this butcher knife, and it has blood in it. I think he used this like from Ted in the movie, if I'm not mistaken. So I just finished show that off. And as you can see, it goes right in his hand. As you can see. And see, you can actually get a scope of how massive this figure is too. Look at my hand, you know. it's massive, you know what I'm saying? It's a massive figure. Okay, so now what I do is just touch on like the articulation of Jason himself too. And I think this is a superb figure. I really like it, you know. Thanks, NECA. I was really wishing for this one. I bet they probably do a 3. I'll be interested in that one too if they do, you know. But here's like the articulation for Jason, you know. As you can see, you can lift his arms up. You can kind of turn his fists. I want to kind of get close on it, but Ben, this is such a massive figure, and I want to kind of show the scope of it. That's why I kind of want to have it out, you know. You can move him like that. You can spread his legs. They even go up like that too as well, you know. You can hear like that noise in it. I forget what that's called. You can, of course, you can turn his head too as well. You can turn his head. Bring his arm down, his hands can go out. I'm trying to see, I know you can bend his knees, I'm trying to. But I just leave it like that. This is an expensive figure, you know. Alright. So it has awesome articulation too, and I'm sure you can do more, but I'm kind of like, you know, on the side where I'm be kind of gentle, you know, because I know he's going to be fragile, you know. Another thing too, the detail in this figure, as usual with NECA figures, is awesome. You can see like Jason's like eyes through the mask, you know. Now in the movie you don't really see him that much. You kind of see him kind of faintly, but not too much. Like his shirt, it looks how it does, you know, the detail in it. His nails, you know, they're like black how they are, you know. Even the pants are like dirty and stuff, as you can see. Shoes look good. Okay. So now what I want to do is actually show like the size of like this figure, like compared to my 7-inch NECA Ultimate Power for Friday 13th, the final chapter of Jason. Okay, as you can see, this right here is the I mean, look, you can see how much massive they are, you know. You have here is like the 7-inch figure, superb figure, by the way. And then you have like this massive quarter scale Jason, you know. As you can see. And they're both superb figures, but this is just to give you like a scope of how massive like this figure is compared to the 7-inch Jason, you know. These are like the comparisons with like the heads too as well. Like this is the quarter scale damage, well, battle damage head, and this is the 7-inch battle damage head. So you can see like the difference like in their size. Oh, this is really massive compared to this, you know. here is also like the masses, you know. You have like this is the quarter scale hockey mask, and this is the 7-inch hockey mask. So you can see the difference in those. And they both have so much detail, you know. And these are the machetes. As you can see, this one is much more massive than this one. I think this was about 4 and this one was about, what, 7 if I'm not mistaken. So you can see the difference in like the quarter scale and the 7-inch one. Also the butcher knife, as you can see. I know some saying Michael Myers knife. As you can see, the difference in them. And also the axis too. The axis is much larger, as you can see. Okay, so as you can see, there's my quarter scale ultimate, well, Friday the 13th ultimate part 4 Jason. Cause they have so many different like names for what they call it, you know, even when they're like the 7-inch figures, so that's why it be kind of confusing. I think this is a superb figure. If you're a fan of like Jason Voorhees, I would definitely recommend getting this figure. You know, like a fan of the Friday the 13th series in general, period, I would definitely recommend it. And I think this is still like the scariest Jason in the series, you know. If I had to pick one that I thought was the scariest, I think the one from this particular film was the scariest one. And this was also designed by, the look of Jason was actually designed by Tom Savini too as well, you know. So yeah, I would definitely recommend this figure. It's a superb figure. So that's my, I guess you could say review, you know. Please leave a comment and subscribe too as well.